That wife of yours is a daughter of another man. And one day your daughter will be going to the house of another man. And it will rip you to shreds, kill you, tear your heart apart to know that another man is messing around with your daughter. That's every man. It's got ghayra inside him. He will not allow that to happen. So for every man, I said, look, the thing is, what a man who wants to resort to physical violence, I mean, what's the point? If it was, come on, I mean, if you really want to fight someone, if you want to pick on someone, come pick on someone who's got equal strength to you. Just do it. If you're looking for a fight, go outside, come pick on someone outside. You see the cannibals, was going back for you. Go and pick on someone who you can. What's the point of hitting someone who's weaker than you? I just don't understand that. That to me shows that he is a lowlife. To me, that guy is just a person so weak and so low that I just don't know what to say to him. I just don't know what to say to him. Why do you want to hit someone because of something that's gone wrong in your relationship? I mean, can you not yourself compromise? She might be doing something bad, whatever that is. Now, I said to you, in towards out, what does that mean? You give down. You start reading hadith in the house. Make Allah and the Messenger your focus, not your egos. Because if it's your egos, it will never end. It will never end. When Iblis and his ego fell out with humanity, has it ended? Has it ended? It will never end until the day of judgment. There's certain fights that are going on. Because it's based on egos, it will never end. Never. Until they die their deaths, until all of them have died their deaths, it will not end. It's based on ego. The only way you can stop a fight is not just to look at the other, not to just look at your rights. This is a mistake most people make. When you're in a difficult situation, the first thing that people say, whether it's a woman or a man, they say, "What about my rights? What about my rights?" The only way to really, really stop fighting and stop quarreling and stop this violence is, what about his rights? What about her rights? Most people don't do that. Start thinking, where have I not given him his rights? Where is it that I failed to give him her rights? So then there's compromise. One of you has to back off. But if he escalates, then all sorts of things can happen. And one of the things, which is the subject that I've been given to talk about is that, I mean, again, there's a two-sided thing to this, right? The British woman needs to understand. The Western woman, the American woman, the Canadian woman, wherever you are, need to understand. If you said, one of my teachers said, he said, before you marry a woman with a red passport, you have to take a new shahada. He says, say this new shahada and then you get married to me. So that's what you're talking about. So he said, she makes you say, لا زوجة إلا أنا وحدها لا شريك لها. There is no other woman, wife, except for me. I do not accept any partners equal to me. Just like God does not accept anyone equal to him in his kingdomship, I don't accept anyone in my marriage with you. Now, when you get married to a woman with a Western passport, and you put that on the table, you said this is it. Polygamy? What? Astaghfirullah. Go and find someone else. Go back to Bangladesh. Go back to Pakistan. Why did you marry me for? That's polygamy? What? Polygamy? Don't you say that word to me and it's like it's going to cause disruption in the whole house is going to be on fire if that word comes up, yeah? Well, if you've got your way with that, and you've got to understand, because the maths have to all add up. The maths in the Quran is that some men, not all men, but some men might have a necessity more than what one wife can satisfy. And that's a clear given thing in the Quran. And when I mention this, sometimes you come with a whole herd of objections to this from the women's side. Well, I'm just going to say, it was some men, it's not all men, some men have got that. But that man, or some men, whoever they are, if they'll accept, if they'll compromise on that side, you've got to also compromise. So for example, if the man has a necessity, I'm talking about the nighttime necessity, when the man needs to, drain himself out and make sure that he's basically, calm, otherwise he's basically going up and down like a yo-yo. So he needs to cool himself down. If you first, and honestly we need to think about this, there's been a BBC study, an article which you can Google it or go to BBC News and you can find it on their website, which is that after 4 years of a close, intimate relationship between a male and a female, the female, her desires to sleep together starts to go quite down. It's at a low. After 4 years of an intimate relationship between a man and a woman, her desire to actually sleep together starts to drop down quite badly. But his, especially if he's of those some men, he's going to go up. His desire to sleep might go up. Now what then happens is, if that woman who wanted no equal partners to her starts to demand and say when he can sleep, when he can't sleep. Because come on, let's be very honest. There are going to be moments when the man doesn't want to sleep with her. There's going to be moments when the woman doesn't want to sleep with him. There's going to be those moments. And if those moments come again, it's compromise. The compromise, it's all in the hadith. And Rasulullah has asked both to do their part. On the man's right, about his rights, Rasulullah said that any woman who is called to the side of a man, any woman who is a wife, is called to the side of her husband by night time, and she refuses to come, then she is someone who will be cursed until the morning comes. That is it. But at the same time, for her rights, Rasulullah said, how can one of you say rude things or abuse your wife verbally in the daytime and then jump on her like an animal in the nighttime? Jump on her like an animal, because that's what animals do. How can one of you do that? Now both is there, which means what? That she has to understand the whole composition with him inside. And he has to understand her feelings and the whole context. Now, the thing is, it's about, marriage is about compromise. Marriage is about compromise. I'm not going to sit here now and say, okay, case number 36, she should have slept with him. Case number 37, he should have said no. I'm not going to say, I'm just going to give you general principles from what Rasulullah said. Now what happens in that scenario is that if the man goes ahead and he sleeps with her, meaning the way the man, the husband and wife actually sleep, and if he actually goes ahead, what the Prophet says, jump like an animal on top of her, then the hurt that she's got, she will be able to do something about that in the future, if she wants. The abuse that she's received, the verbal abuse, physical abuse, whatever, nighttime abuse, whatever she's got, she will be eventually able to come on the day of judgment and say, Allah, my husband treated me like this. But equally, if she treats him in an ill manner, and she makes life difficult for him. I mean, the guy basically is walking, on the streets, and he just having a real big hard time keeping his eyes down. And every time he opens the computer, he's like, his head's killing him because he wants to see something which is haram. And that's all because his wife is not satisfying him. And he's trying to at the same time go to her, and she's, sometimes men are horrible, some women are horrible. She's basically, every time he comes, she's got an excuse. I'm tired. Yeah? She's got an excuse. Oh, I've got to take the kids to school in the morning, and I want to go with wet hair out, outside, I've got hijab. I don't want to. You should come to bed earlier. And the day he comes early, she's basically busy on the computer. So he's like, come on, whatever. You know, there can be both ways. There's games that are played both ways. And if there's games, then he can stand up on the day of judgment. And he can say, oh Allah, this is what my wife did to me, and as a result, this is where I ended up. So you now judge between us. That is something that he can do. Now, what you've got to understand is, you're in this marriage, you've both got to make it work together. You've got to understand each other's feelings. Now, come on, let's be honest. If she's, why just because you've got, to the man I'm saying, you've got a desire inside you, she's crying. She's crying. For God's sake, she's a human being. For God's sake, she's a human being. She's probably suffering all the mental torture you've given her. And she doesn't want to come near you because of the torture in her mind that you've caused. And then you want to jump on top of her? Come on, get a life. Think about what you've done. Start, if you want to rectify things, start from the inside. Show her love. Show her love. See, the word, a lot of men, I'll be honest with you, they have difficulty in understanding the difference between the word love and the word sex. They have difficulty understanding that. There's some men who are like that. And for a woman, they have also a difficulty as well. Because for them, relationship means that you just always love them from the heart. And for men, some men, it means that love means that you are able to satisfy me when it comes to my time to get satisfied. And you've got to understand you've been created differently. Now, what is marriage about? Marriage is about giving the other half. So you start looking at ways to go from the inside outside, which means what? Compromise. Say words. You be the first one to say sorry. Before you start getting, every other right, say sorry. Go through them one by one. I have said hurtful words to you. And I'm really apologetic for that. And it's not going to end just like that. It depends how long you've said them for. Because there's time heals. Time needs to go by to heal. So you say apologies. Then change your act. Be kind. Do things for the other person that the other person likes. Spice up the nice masala again, right? Make nice food again for him. And for you, just try and, come home with a bunch of flowers one day. Come with a nice card, with a nice apology. Women love these gestures. They're small. And the other problem that men and women have is that, a man thinks, she's just concerned about the pepper I left on the table. And that, because of that, she just went on and on for half an hour. When I come home with a check of £1,500 or £2,000 a month, that's just a piece of paper to her. And she thinks, yeah, you go do all that stuff outside. And you can't even respect me by moving this pepper off the table. How many times do I have to do it? You've been doing it all these years, and it's still on the table. The thing is, you've got to understand, we think differently. Men think differently, women think differently. Men, if they've got a problem, now, he's got a problem, what's he going to do? He's got a problem, he's going to start secluding himself. He's going to start becoming cold. Not cold towards her, but he just wants to be left alone. She's got a problem, she wants to chat. Did you hear what happened to me? Sit down here, listen to me. Right? Now he's thinking, okay, I've listened to you for half an hour. Yeah? Solution 1 is this, solution 2 is this, solution 3 is this. And she thinks in the back of, because when people, they say something here and they think something there. Right? So she's still saying, yeah, this happened, that, but she's thinking in her head, do you really care about me? Do you really care about me? That's not going in her head. And you're sitting there thinking, yes, darling, I've given you 3 solutions. You're thinking, come on, I've given you this solution. You accept one. Come on, get out of it. What's the matter with you?